What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity Buildit video, and today we're going to talk about how to make max coins. Okay. Now, this has been a question that's been asked billions of times by billions of people in billions of different ways. Okay. It's something that I get asked constantly, and it's in the very top 3 of the most common mistake people make. So if I had to pick one question that I get asked all the time, it would be how to make max coins. And if I had to pick one of the top 3 mistakes people make, it would be not making the right items. So that being said, I wanted to do a very thorough job when putting out this video. Now, I've put out videos before on, yeah, you guys, you should probably make this, you should probably make that, you know what I mean? But I've never put out anything this in detailed. And I've also never seen anything this in detail put out on the game. And you'll understand why here in just a minute. Now, when you search what to, how to make max coins on SimCity Buildit, you come up with, when you search it on Google, you come up with websites that are like this. List of items to make, money per minute build, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you click it and you get thrown to a website like this, and it's a chart, and it tells you the amount you can sell the item for. And depending on what type of chart you're looking at, but most of them took the total number of time it took in to assemble that item. So they say, okay, if it's a if it's a nail, you take 2 metal. You have to make that metal, which takes 1 minute. So they take the raw material time, the total assembly time, the total time, the minutes to make, and then the money per minute, right? So if they were to pull up, like, let's just say it was a bag of flour. They would go to, let's say, okay, look. Hang on, let's find beef. That's a good example. All right, beef right here at the very bottom. That way you guys can see it. 860. 3 animal feed. Animal feed takes 6 hours. The beef takes 2 hours, 30 minutes, I'm assuming for a the least level shop, because you're going to have, throughout the game, you will notice that you're upgrading your shops to 1, 2, or 3-star shops, and they're going to have a time discount. Now, what we've done in our chart that we made is we didn't do the total time that it took to make the items that went into it, because there are already so many of these websites out there. You can get this information fairly easily. Now, you're definitely going to want to double check their numbers just to be certain, but most of them are accurate. I found a couple errors on a few of the websites, but nothing major. It's more like, oh, a material cost is like 10 coins off or something. But it's still something when you're trying to get it down to the very numbers. So, I mean, it is important to be accurate. But anyways, so if the feed takes 6 hours and great, I just lost my spot. Okay, if the feed takes 6 hours and the beef takes 2 hours, 30 minutes, then that is a total of 8 hours, 30 minutes, right? And you sell for, let's see, 510 is the material cost. I don't know what that is, actually. What is the 510? That's minutes. Okay, I was going to say, that's not the material cost. Okay, what the fuck, dude? All right. Sorry, you guys. This website is ridiculous. I'm trying to make it to where you guys can see it on your screen, because I know that the video on YouTube is going to be sideways versus my phone that's upright. So, okay. 510 minutes total, which means you're making $1.69 a minute by making beef, right? Now, this guy, he went in and he did his chart to be the highest to the least. Okay? So it goes in order, but based off that. So it starts with nails at $13.33 a minute, then it goes down to metal, and so on. Now, somebody would look at this, and they're going to assume that this is the list of items based off of their profits, right? That's what they're going to think. They're going to think, a lot of people that aren't, math freaks, geeks or whatever, you know what I mean? Somebody who doesn't put a lot of time into what is being put in front of them, a lot of thought into it, is going to look at this and they're going to see this and they're going to go, okay, nails make the highest, metal makes the next highest, and so on. And they're going to go down the line and they're going to go, wow, that's cool. I didn't know that burgers turned such a nice profit. I think I'll make burgers. Little do they know, first off, you have to separate this list that he made. You have to separate it into all the shops, because you can't make all the items that you want to make that turn the highest profit in one shop, right? So, like, let's say that you have a really good example that I can use is smoothies. Now, smoothies turn a very nice profit because they make in 24 minutes. If you purchase the materials, it changes things versus if you make the materials. Now, certain items, as you know from playing the game, are easier to obtain than other materials, right? Okay. So, how many people here, and how many people make a pink lemonade bottle because they purchase the glass and they purchase the sugar and they purchase the melon? Okay, so what we did with our guide was we went and we took their information that they did. We examined their information, okay? And we took their information into account that, yes, this is what you're going to make if you make the item. But the other thing that people don't realize when they look at these charts is this isn't the end result here. You have some more math to do, okay? For example, if you make a bag of flour in 24 minutes with a 3-star shop makes a bag of flour in 24 minutes, right? Okay. I with a 3-star shop can make a beef in 120 minutes. So if I go and I look at the profit numbers, and let's say I bought my materials, okay? Let's say that. It would mean that, and I've put out these charts before, the ones that me and CPT made, it would mean that, I'm going to pull it up here just a sec. Okay, so if I purchase the materials to make the beef, it's it's $420 in materials, okay, because it's 3 feet. Now, I can sell it for $860, which means I made $440. I gained $440 from making it, right? Okay. Now, flour, I spent $240 on materials, and I made $330. So I gained $330 from the flour, and I gained $440 from the beef. So if here it appears to be what? That beef turns a higher profit? No. No, fuck no it doesn't. Because you're not looking at the minutes it took to make it. Okay? You can make 5 flour in the amount of time you can make 1 beef. So people look at these charts and they look and they see this money per minute shit. Okay? Which, yes, they're taking the total number of time it takes to make that item, but they're not cross-checking it with the total number of time it takes to make a different item. Right? So what they're doing is they're saying, if you make nails, you can make $13.33 a minute. But if you make this instead of this, what's the difference in time, right? So that's what we've done, is we've cross-checked. What we did was we put together a plan that says which item to make in which shop, how many, how to fund it, and what you're going to make at the end of the day. That's what we've done. Because what ends up happening is people ask a question of how to make max coins. And they want an answer. They want a make this answer. They don't want a here you fucking go, have a nice day, there's a goddamn math chart you got to look at answer. They don't want that. They want an answer. They just want to know what to make. They want somebody to do the work for them, right? Because maybe they don't want to do it themselves. Maybe they don't like math. Maybe they don't give a shit, right? They just want you to do it for them, which you've already done the work already, clearly, because you've put together this lovely guide. Now, I'll tell you why they haven't done what I'm talking about because it's a bitch. Okay? I didn't know what the fuck I was stepping into when I stepped into it, but it's a bitch. An absolute bitch. And I can't say bitch enough on this because this thing was a bitch. I have spent the last 14 days making this. And just when I thought I had it right, the fuck I did. Okay? Something came in, blew the paper right off my desk and went, nope, that's wrong. Throw it away. You're wrong. Okay? So a lot of time has went into what me and this guy have put together. Now, the reason why is because if you make, and I'm going to show you guys how fucked up this is. So what we've done is we've cross-checked every item in the game. If you make, let's say you open up your game. Okay? We're going to do this shit on screen. All right, look. First things first. I'm a level 99 player. I have all 3-star shops. I have all 11 production slots. I have all 5 slot factories. He is a level 18 player. He has what a level 18 player would have. Okay, so maybe he has a 1-star shop on the barn, and then he has no star shops on the donuts, and then he doesn't have the appliance store and whatnot. So, realistically, when you get handed one of these charts, and you see it says to make metal because metal makes $10 a minute. So somebody goes, okay, well, metal makes the most money, so I guess I'll sit here for the rest of my life every minute collecting metal and posting it to the global market. And then after my depot's so fucking full I can't put anything up, I'll just have a backlog of 9,000 metal, right? Because God knows that everybody else is just ready to come to my depot and buy tons of metal because they can't make it themselves in 1 fucking minute. Okay, that doesn't work. That's not realistic. And it annoys the ever-living fuck out of me when I see somebody come on the game when they say, what's the most profitable item to make or how to make the most money, and some dumb asshole says, metal, make metal. Really? Dumbass? I hadn't thought of that. That's not realistic. It is not realistic to sit on the game every minute and collect metal and sell it, okay? What we did was we put together a realistic guide based off the way a normal person would play the game. Now, normal people, and I'm not normal, but most people, they get up and they go to work every day. Or they do something. Maybe they go to school. Maybe they smoke pot. I don't fucking know. They do something all day long, okay? And in between this something that they're doing, they're opening their game periodically and checking on it and refilling their shops and their factories, okay? Now, even if they play the game all day, even better. That just means you have more time to devote to making more money, right? But what we did was we put together a realistic guide based off a realistic gameplay. So that, taking a realistic perspective into account, we said, okay, look, most people don't just make every item that goes into making items in their shop, because that's what these guides have been before. I'm not even going to call it a guide. I'm going to call it a chart, okay? Because it's a chart. That's all it is. It's not a plan. It's not a guide. I mean, I guess it could be a guide, but I'm going to refer to it as a chart. So these production charts that have been put out in the past, all they do is they tell you which item turns the highest profit based off of the total time it took to make that item. It does not cross-check them with every other item in the game. If you were to make a list of all the highest profitable items on these charts and then bring them to your game, you will find that you have a very serious problem. That you could make more, first off, that you could be making more money elsewhere if you were to purchase some materials. And then you would also realize, well, hold on a minute. I can't make all the profitable items in the game based off this chart because some of them overlap each other. Or some of them are made in different shops. Or some of them, I can buy the materials for something else and make something better. So this is why nothing like this has ever been put together, because there's so many variables to consider. Okay? I think there's like, I want to say 52 items in the game, plus raw materials. I don't know. I could be wrong on that. But anyway, there's a lot. So first things first, when you look at your shops, okay, let's say you're not doing the contest of mayors. Let's say that you're able, your shops are wide open. You can make whatever the hell you want, right? Because the contest of mayors is going to fuck your day up. Now, you come to this shop. Now, my guide is based off of a level 61 player with the max discount. Now, if you are below level 61, that's okay. You can still follow my guide, because what we've done is in our guide with our charts, we put in the total time discount for each and every level shop. So if you have a 1-star shop, you're going to go to the 1-star column and you're going to scroll over and you're going to go, okay, this is what you can make beef for with a 1-star shop. Now, because there are so many guides out there that take the total time of the item into consideration, those guides are out there all over the place, those charts. We didn't do that type of chart. We did a chart that was based off of purchased materials. So we had our purchased materials chart, and then we had their total time chart, and we combined the two to make a realistic plan that we typed up. Well, I typed up and I said, okay, you're going to go to this shop and you're going to make this item, and you're going to make this many of this item, and this is how you're going to make this item. And then you're going to take that item and you're going to go to another shop and you're going to make this item. Right? So here's the thing. And I'm going to show you guys why this was such a bitch to make. So, for example, we know that, well, if you don't know, you're going to know here in a minute. If you look at this farmer's market, okay, we're going to go through this. The highest profitable item to make in the barn is flour. Okay? Now, even if you purchase the materials, you're going to make $23.75 an hour on flour. Because of this, what we did was we said, okay, well, what are we going to tell people to make in the barn? Right? You have flour unlocked at a pretty low level, so it makes sense that you would make flour. Now, here's the thing that we had. The farmer's market, the barn, and the donut shop go side by side. They go hand in hand is what I mean. So anything that you make in the farmer's market, you're going to be basically taking and making something in the donut shop, right? Okay. Now, we know that smoothies turn a very nice profit when you purchase the materials, and even when you make the materials, really. But there's a slight issue here, because here's the problem. You have to count the total time it takes to make all the items that go into a smoothie. So what we had an option of, what do we tell people to make? Do we tell them to make donuts, bread rolls, smoothies, yogurt, coffee, or cheesecake? Now, we all know that yogurt takes 3 hours, 12 minutes to make and sells for $17.50. That is not a good profit. That is a very, very bad profit, in fact. It's $9.11 bad profit, exact. And that's if you buy the materials. Okay? So, bread rolls, again, don't turn a good profit because of the cream. So, these guides, what they do is they add up the total time it takes to make the cream, the total time it takes to make the flour, and the total time it takes to make the bread roll, and then they do a per minute value. But what they don't do is they don't come over here and they say, okay, this versus this, and cross-check them. So what we had to do was we had to say, okay, what do we tell people to make? Do you make more money making flour to make donuts? Or do you make more money making metal, making wood, making plastic, to make a shovel, to take a shovel, to make a sap, to make a sap, to make a melon from a melon, and then take the melon and then go back to the barn and simultaneously make veggies and melons to make a smoothie? No, you don't make more money making smoothies. Okay? And that's why. Because what's going to happen is, even if you were to make a higher amount from the smoothies for one smoothie, you can't make that many smoothies because you can't make that many melons. So your shop's going to be running part of the day, right? Now, if you play the game, if you have somebody who doesn't play the game, look at this chart. They're not going to fully understand what they're looking at because they don't play the game. So even if you have a mathematical genius, they can only get so far by looking at this chart because they don't know the algorithm of the game, right? So, for example, my uncle's a pretty smart guy, and I handed him my chart and their chart and told him, look, I want you to cross-check the items I'm saying to make. And he's looking at it, and he goes, well, why are you making flour and donuts and not smoothies? And I'm like, well, because you have to make saps to make smoothies, to make this, to make that. And he goes, okay. So he's like, oh, okay, I see. They're in several different shops. Yes. Okay. So then he's like, okay, well, so why not just buy some of the, because that's what we were doing. We were buying the materials. He goes, why not just buy the material, buy part of the materials for the smoothies and make smoothies? And I'm like, well, you know, yes, that would be the case if we could find those materials, but because he doesn't play the game, he didn't realize that the algorithm of the game doesn't allow for us to buy certain items all day long. Now, let's just say for a minute that you were to actually go to your global market and you were actually able to see melons quite a bit, right? You would be able to do that. You would be able to go and buy melons and make smoothies. But because a lot of people don't make them, a lot of people don't sell them. So the algorithm of the game isn't going to show you what you need, right? So surprisingly enough, and I've been playing the game 5 years, I've noticed that a lot of the high-priced, high-valued, profitable items aren't being made. And I was surprised by that. I was like, wait a minute here, because what I did was I went through every shop and I made a list of the highest profitable item in each and every shop. That's the first thing I did. Okay. And I noticed that those items never get sold. And I'm going to tell you what those items are. So for your barn, the highest profitable item right now, for a level 61, you turn in a decent profit with veggies and with flour. Now, because you can take that flour and make donuts, you turn a better profit making flour and donuts than you do making veggies, melons, saps, shovels to make smoothies. Okay? So that being said, you're going to run your barn for a day and night. Now, what we did was we did a 16-hour day to an 8-hour sleep. So, let me get my guide here because we made a few adjustments. So basically, you're going to run flour for 16 hours of your day. And by 16 hours, we mean 960 minutes. Just a second, you guys. I thought I had this paper on me, and I do. It's just lost. The fuck? Oh my god. Okay. All right, this is what we're going to do. You guys know what your damn game looks like. We don't need to have the game up. We're going to pull up my actual guide. Okay, this is the guide that you guys are going to be given. All right? Now, you'll be able to print this. You'll be able to screenshot it. There is already pictures of this guide up on Discord. If you guys have not already, there will be a link for Discord in the description of this video. You guys will be able to print this guide based off of It's like a PDF file, and then I think there's another version that I posted of a Word document. Okay, it's like 7 a.m. here, and I'm waiting for a FedEx store to open. Because of the COVID shit, I haven't been able to print this out. Otherwise, I've done the video a little bit differently, but for the purpose of the video, we're going to just do it on here. So I'm going to read to you guys, I'm just going to read you guys what I typed up for the introduction. This guide was made by Missy Anne and CPT. We went through every regular shop for SimCity Buildit and put together a production plan of what we believe to be the best possible combination of items to make the maximum number of coins in a 24-hour period. Note, this guide is taking a realistic gameplay into consideration, meaning we wanted to provide the best possible combination of items being made based on how often you're able to check on your game. Most people work during the day and sleep during the night for usually around 8 hours. The average person checks their game periodically throughout the day to refill their shops as needed. We tried to make a guide that was focused on the most realistic time spent on the game. For example, the factory items are referred to as raw materials. Metal makes in 1 minute and sells for $10 each. If we make 60 metal every 1 minute, we bring in $600 per minute. However, it's not realistic to sit on the game and collect/sell that much metal. We put together a few different guides based on city level, the level of your shops, your time discounts, and production slots and factory slots available. Most shops are based on a 16-hour day, so 960 minutes, and an 8-hour sleep. So 480 minutes at night. By sleep, we mean, and I'm clarifying this because somebody in my group was confused about sleep. When I say I'm shutting my game for 8 hours and going to sleep, that's what most people mean. Most people aren't like me and sleep with their game open, okay? And play it throughout the night. So they shut their game off for 8 hours and they collect it in the morning when they wake up. They don't normally collect throughout the night, okay? So that's what we mean. We mean that you shut your game for 8 hours straight. So what this is going to have happen is if you don't have, let's say that it's more profitable to make 11 items for 5.5 hours than it is to make 9 items for 8 hours. That's what happens sometimes. That's what people do wrong. So what they do is they go, you know what? I'm going to sleep anyway. I might as well just make whatever so that my shop's at least running full time, right? But the problem with that philosophy is that you're losing money. Now, a lot of people think, well, I should have my shop running 8 hours and make less money because at least it's running 8 hours versus have my shop run 5 hours and make more money in that 5 hours than I would have in that 8 hours. That doesn't make sense, does it? No, but they didn't think about it like that. They just looked at it like, my shop's not running for 8 hours. Oh my God, I'm losing money. No. You got to put some thought into it, okay? You just got to think a little bit. And you got to go, you know what? I can actually make more money making this item for 5.5 hours and letting my shop do nothing for 3 hours than I would be making this item for 8 hours. And then most of the time, people don't just make those 8 hours worth of items. They want to make certain, and they don't, for whatever reason, like I said, this is the realistic gameplay. For whatever reason, they don't add up the amount of hours. They just throw down 11 fire pits. So they come back to their game, and they're like, fuck, son of a bitch, I got 4 fire pits still going, or 5 or 6, or you know what I mean, however many it is. Because believe it or not, fire pits take like 3 hours and 12 minutes. And so do yogurts. So you only make like, what, not even 3 by the time you come back to your game? So if you put up 11 yogurts, that took up your whole damn day. So don't do that. Don't be one of those people that makes those decisions, okay? Now, you're not going to be one of those people after today because you're going to see what you're doing wrong and you're going to fix it. Now, a realistic gameplay, people do not only make the materials that they make items with. They buy materials too. That's what all of us do, okay? So I don't want to put together a plan of this is how much money you can make if you only made everything that went into your items. But I did put together a plan that is very similar. So basically what I did was I said, okay, look, you're going to make all these items. And you're going to make all these materials for these items. And the ones that you can't make very easily, you're going to buy. And the ones that you buy are actually going to be ones that are realistically purchased on the global market. So you don't refill your shops during the night, so you make 11 items. Okay, so I just explained that. All right. This guide is foreign as the following. You unlock the last regular item in the game, popcorn, okay, which really doesn't matter because you're never going to make popcorn because it's garbage, at level 43. You unlock the 11th factory, which gives you 60 slots at level 58. So again, if you guys are not level 58, if you guys are, let's say that you guys are level 18, there is a level 18 production guide at the bottom of this plan. So we did think about you level 18 players because level 18 is a very popular camping level, okay? So don't worry, you guys were thought about, and there is, I'm going to explain your guys' plan here in a minute. Now, you unlock all shop time discounts at level 61. So again, if you guys are not level 61, it's okay because you're going to follow the charts that were inserted into this plan, and it's going to show you guys the amount. So all that's really changing is you're going to make the same exact items that I'm telling you to make, but you're just going to be able to make less of them. So you might have to make one less flour or something, right? Because maybe you have a 1-star shop instead of a 3-star shop. So essentially, as long as you have all the items unlocked, as long as you're level like 40 and up, you'll be able to follow the guide 100%. If you're below level 40, but above level 18, then you're going to have a little bit of trouble. You're going to have to kind of cross-check because I'm not going to go through and do level 18 unlocks this, level 19 unlocks that, level 20 unlocks this. I am not doing that. I've already put enough work into this shit, okay? So you're going to have to take the items that are in the level 40 guide and the level 18 guide and see which ones you don't have, or see which items you've unlocked from level 18 to level 40 that are on my list of items to make, and see which ones you can make and how to make them if you're between level 18 and level 40. All right, that being said, keep in mind certain items turn a higher profit when materials are purchased rather than made or vice versa. So we have just spent 25 fucking minutes explaining this, so you guys should have a pretty good understanding of what that means, okay? Now, if you deviate from this plan in any way, it will result in profits, a change in profits, okay? So as you know, we have a number that is our profits earned based off of the plan that we've written up. Now, these profit numbers are going to change based off of gifts that you may have found, items maybe you purchased for more or for less and sold for more, tokens, maybe you use tokens or whatever, okay? So this isn't an exact number that you're not gonna open your game the morning of today and then tomorrow morning, 24 hours later, have the exact number of coins. Don't be a smartass, okay? But you are going to make around this number, okay? If you make this item. All right, now, we do have a list of what this video excludes. Now, I know because I know my phone, and I cleared up a ton of storage space, but because of YouTube, I don't want the video to say it's too long to upload. So I'm going to post this part 1 video, and then in part 2, we're going to get into the rest of this guide, and I'm going to tell you guys which items you're going to be making and why and all that good shit. So if you have not already, please hit that like and subscribe button, comment below, and stay tuned for the part 2 video.